In this video, I want to talk about how couples can deal with stress and depression as a team. So, a lot of people will go see a therapist individually to deal with stress, and that's still a good tool. I always encourage people to see a therapist because obviously I'm a therapist, right? But beyond that, when one person is going through stress or when both of you are going through stress, it can be really difficult as a couple to work through that. So in this video, I want to cover some tips for how to work better as a team during stress or depression or both. All right, so one thing is to have regular time to talk about where you're at, even if it's tough. I talked about a relationship check-in in an old episode, but having a regular relationship check-in where you're allowed to talk about things, share your feelings, share that you're stressed out and you're struggling with things is helpful in a variety of ways. One, it creates a space where you can talk about your feelings rather than shoving them down, because that doesn't work. And then two, it actually helps you compartmentalize around the topic. It's when you're stressed and depressed, it just bleeds throughout the day. But when you kind of give it a space, sometimes it allows people to close that. So sometimes what it allows you to do is compartmentalize that problem, and say, guess what? I am going to talk about it this time, but then I want to close the door on that topic and just kind of live my life for the day. And so actually I think it's helpful, especially if you do things intentionally, to remind yourself through the day, hey, we're going to talk about this later. So I'm going to focus on what I'm doing now, stay present in the moment, and then we'll talk about it later on tonight. Yeah, so having some sort of relationship check-in or a regular talk where you have a space to share your feelings is helpful. A second thing that can help is having one or both of you encourage, initiate positive things with one another. So what does that mean? All right, there's three things that are very helpful for pulling people out of stress or unhappiness. And those are nature sunshine, exercise, activity that brings up the heart levels, and social interactions. So couples who try to initiate interactions like with friends or initiate like a hike in the woods are going to do a little better if they force themselves to do things that potentially could make themselves happy. But when you withdraw and isolate from each other, it makes it harder to get out of that space. So one or both of you work on initiating things that could potentially make you happier in general. And then the third thing is you also have to cultivate a just say yes mentality. So your partner could be initiating very good things that could potentially help you get out of your head and have fun. But if you're just saying, no, I don't want to, I don't feel like it, then nothing happens. And actually the person who initiated kind of feels bad. But if you cultivate a just say yes mentality, it's, you do it whether you feel like it or not. It's not about, in fact, that's the hard thing is when you're depressed, you don't have any motivation to do anything. So it's not about motivation or if you feel like doing anything. It's the opposite. It's forcing yourself to do things you don't feel like so that eventually you can feel just a little bit better. And so if you cultivate that mentality when your partner initiates something like, let's go outside, let's go on a hike, you'll first begrudgingly do it and not feel like it at all. Be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. But over time, when you get into that hike, you start feeling better because you're in nature and the sun is on your face and it's relaxing. Hikes are relaxing. Exercise can be relaxing and calming and feel good physiologically. So the big thing is just say yes and push yourself through. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be stressed or depressed after it or even during it at times. But the point is that the more you kind of push yourself to do those things, the easier it is to have moments where you're happy. And then just the final tip with that is try to just be in the moment. So a lot of the pain we're experiencing in life is worrying about future things or feeling bad about past things. So when you're in the moment, say you are on a hike or you are exercising in a gym or you're hanging out with your friends, work on really paying attention to what's happening in the here and now. This is called mindfulness. And work on being present for the conversation. Work on being present in the woods that you see, noticing the trees, noticing the calm, noticing your body in space and time. Here's my body in space and time. Just noticing things and trying to be present. That is probably the best skill for having some level of happiness is within that stress or that chaos. Well, so thank you for listening again. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you need any help, visit my website at www.therapistinstlouis.com. Thank you very much.